There's a secret truth about men that most people never talk about, and today you're about to hear it. Some men don't just want to give, they need to give, because it heals something deep inside them. Welcome to the channel where we break down psychology, power, relationships, and the hidden dynamics that shape human behavior. And if you're ready to understand the real reason men feel peace when they provide, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss what's coming next. In the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly why his desire to pay isn't weakness, simping, or desperation. It's emotional biology and psychological wiring at work. So stay right here and let's begin. 1. He feels purpose through providing. A man's psyche is built around purpose, and when he gives to a woman he values, it activates the deepest layer of meaning inside him in ways that few other actions can. He doesn't just hand over money or support. He feels like he is contributing to something bigger than himself, something that grounds him. This sense of purpose rewires his internal stress and soothes emotional chaos that he often hides from everyone around him. When he provides, he feels needed in a world that constantly makes men feel replaceable. His act of giving creates emotional order, clarity, and stability in his mind. It is a psychological anchor that pulls him back from uncertainty. Even small gestures create a ripple effect that calms him, and deep inside, giving becomes proof to himself that he matters in someone's life. His sacrifices become a silent language of connection. His generosity becomes therapy he doesn't talk about. And every time he invests in her, he reclaims a piece of himself he thought he lost. 2. Paying gives him emotional control. Men often feel powerless in emotional situations because they are taught not to express feelings, but paying allows him to gain control in a way that feels safe. When he provides, he suddenly becomes the initiator instead of the confused observer of his own emotions. This act of giving creates a structure he understands, something measurable and clear, unlike most emotional communication. Through giving, he regulates himself without having to expose vulnerability. He feels like he is steering the connection, not drowning in uncertainty. The act becomes grounding and stabilizing. It builds confidence inside him. It reduces anxiety that comes from emotional unpredictability. Pain becomes a predictable ritual that soothes him. It reassures him of his role. It reassures him of her presence. And it reassures him of his internal stability, making him emotionally stronger each time. 3. Providing makes him feel masculine again. Modern life often strips men of traditional roles, leaving them unsure of where they stand, but giving reignites a sense of masculinity they crave but rarely admit. When he pays, he feels competent, valuable, and capable. He feels like he is fulfilling a role that aligns with his internal blueprint. This masculine energy brings calm to his nervous system. It stabilizes his identity. It renews his confidence. It reconnects him to instincts he tries to suppress. Through providing, he feels like he is stepping into a version of himself that feels natural. The act becomes a reminder that he can protect and support. This reminds him that he has something to offer. It rebuilds the masculine pride he loses in daily life. And with each offering, he feels a surge of identity, power, and emotional strength flowing back into him. 4. Giving helps him heal old wounds. Many men carry emotional wounds from childhood, failed relationships, or years of feeling unappreciated, and giving becomes a form of healing those invisible scars. When he pays for a woman who values him, he feels seen in a way he rarely experiences. His generosity becomes medicine. It allows him to rewrite old stories where he felt ignored. It replaces memories where he felt inadequate. It gives him hope that he is worthy of appreciation. Every act of providing becomes a small step in repairing the cracks inside him. He begins to trust himself again. He begins to trust connection again. The act softens emotional pain he never talks about. It transforms old patterns into new beliefs. Giving becomes a bridge to a healthier emotional life. And with every contribution, he feels the weight of old wounds slowly lifting. 5. Paying makes him feel needed. A man who feels needed becomes emotionally alive, and paying is one of the simplest ways he experiences that sense of necessity. When he provides for a woman who appreciates him, he feels anchored. He feels relevant. He feels important. This isn't about money, it's about meaning. The feeling of being needed strengthens his emotional center. It pushes away feelings of loneliness. It eliminates the belief that he is easily replaced. Being needed gives him a role in her world. It creates emotional stability inside him. It fuels motivation and confidence. It strengthens his identity. It reduces stress. And it fills him with the grounding assurance that he matters to someone beyond surface-level interaction. It reassures him that his efforts are valued. It gives him emotional validation he rarely seeks elsewhere. It allows him to feel indispensable in a safe and nurturing way. It deepens his commitment and care naturally, and it reminds him that his presence makes a tangible difference in someone's life. 6. His brain releases reward chemicals when he gives. The act of paying triggers dopamine, oxytocin, and reward circuits in the male brain, creating a powerful emotional and biological high that calms him. When he provides, his brain lights up with satisfaction. He feels good about himself instantly. The biochemical reaction relaxes his nervous system. It gives him emotional clarity. It removes confusion and replaces it with purpose. His stress levels drop. His confidence rises. His sense of connection deepens. The reward cycle becomes self-sustaining. Giving becomes soothing. Providing becomes emotionally addictive. And every contribution he makes strengthens the neural pathways that tell him he is doing something meaningful. It encourages him to repeat acts of generosity. It ties emotional closeness to his sense of accomplishment. It reinforces feelings of self-worth and pride. It creates a subtle sense of euphoria that balances tension. And it nurtures a cycle of emotional healing that grows stronger with each thoughtful act. 7. He loves feeling like the protector. Protection is not always physical. Sometimes it is emotional and financial, and paying allows him to step into that protector identity that stabilizes him. When he pays, he feels like he is shielding her from stress. He feels like he is offering comfort. He feels responsible in a healthy way. This protector instinct gives him peace. It reassures him of his role. It calms emotional storms inside him. It gives him something to stand for. It fills him with purpose. It amplifies his sense of value. It strengthens his connection to her. It reinforces loyalty. And every time he steps into this role, he feels emotionally stronger and more balanced. It allows him to assert care without words. It gives him a visible way to demonstrate love and reliability. It makes him feel like a cornerstone in her life. It reduces his internal anxiety by providing a clear role, and it nourishes his emotional identity, leaving him satisfied and grounded. 8. Investing in her feels like investing in his future. When he pays, he doesn't just view it as helping her. He feels like he is contributing to something meaningful that reflects back onto his own long-term vision. Providing gives him a sense of direction. It aligns with his desire to build something. It makes the connection feel solid. It gives him a goal. It gives him clarity. It makes him think long-term. It feels like planting seeds. It feels like building foundation. This long-term emotional vision soothes him. It gives him emotional stability. It makes him feel like he is crafting a future. And each investment he makes feels like a step toward becoming the man he wants to be. 9. Paying clears his guilt and restlessness. Many men carry guilt from past failures, guilt from not being enough. Guilt from mistakes, and providing becomes a way to release that emotional weight. When he pays, he feels like he is balancing emotional accounts. He feels lighter. He feels redeemed. It clears his conscience. It calms his restless energy. It gives him psychological peace. It makes him feel aligned with his intentions. It eases internal pressure. It restores his sense of moral balance. It gives him emotional rest. And the more he gives, the more he feels like he is resetting his inner world and stepping into emotional clarity. 10. Giving helps him feel connected without vulnerability. Men often struggle with expressing emotion openly, but giving allows them to show connection without verbal exposure. Paying becomes his love language. It allows him to express care silently. It protects him from feeling weak. It lets him participate emotionally without fear. It gives him a safe form of intimacy. It builds trust without forcing vulnerability. It creates connection he can handle. It strengthens emotional bonds. It reassures him that he is part of something meaningful. And through this silent form of expression, he heals, he grows, and he connects in a way that feels natural to him. And that's the hidden truth most people never realize. For many men, giving isn't about money, it's about identity, purpose, healing, and emotional alignment. And when you understand that, you understand the entire dynamic of why paying for you becomes powerful therapy for him. If this breakdown opened your eyes or made you see male psychology in a deeper way, Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another insight like this, because every week we uncover the invisible truths behind relationships, power, behavior, and the way men and women shape each other's emotional worlds. Stay connected, stay aware, and keep watching, because there's so much more coming that will change how you see everything beneath the surface.